Hello, my friends. Have you ever had those moments in leadership when it's not just about spreadsheets and reports, but you need to start diving deeply into people's feelings? Now imagine having an insider secret to level up your leadership game, something that makes you a better manager, team player, and inspirational leader. The secret, which is not really a big secret, but this ingredient is emotional intelligence. In the coming episode, we're digging into what honing emotional intelligence can do for your leadership style. Because emotional intelligence isn't just a nice to have, it's required if you want to lead effectively and have a positive impact on your team and your organization. So in this episode, we'll cover the unique challenges women face in leadership roles. We're going to do a brief overview of emotional intelligence and its significance in leadership. We're going to talk about the growing recognition of the value of emotional intelligence in the workplace. Then we're going to flip to the unique strengths that women in leadership possess and why empathy is a superpower. And if you are new to the Women Taking the Lead podcast, hello and welcome. I'm Jody Flynn. I'm the CEO and founder of Women Taking the Lead, a leadership development company that helps organizations achieve their gender parity goals at all levels of leadership and in all divisions of the organization. We help to realize these results through consulting, coaching, leadership development programs, and keynotes. My goal is for this podcast to be a valuable resource for you and others in your organization of all genders to grow in your leadership. If we are not already connected on LinkedIn, please send me an invitation to connect. You can find me directly at linkedin.com/IN/Jody Flynn, or you can search the platform for Jody Flynn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, so I should be at or near the top of the search results. Be sure to add a note to the invitation letting me know you're a listener of the podcast. I would love to connect with you and get to know you better. Or if you're listening and it's been a little bit since we first connected, send a note and say hello and let me know how you're doing. Before we talk about emotional intelligence and the benefits of raising your EQ, let's take a realistic look at some of the challenges women leaders are faced with. So first, we've got gender stereotypes and bias. There can be societal expectations or biases that women are expected to be more nurturing, emotional, or communal, potentially undermining their credibility as leaders. And I did a recent episode on this. So if that topic interests you, go back and give it a listen. Then there are double standards. Women in leadership roles may face a double standard where they are expected to balance assertiveness with warmth, navigating a fine line between authoritative and approachable. And this balancing act can be challenging and emotionally taxing. Then there's perceived emotional expression. Women expressing emotions at work, whether positive or negative, may face different perceptions compared to men. Assertiveness in women might be perceived as aggression, while expressing vulnerability may be seen as a sign of weakness. Then there's work-life balance pressures. Women, particularly in leadership roles, may face increased pressure to manage work-life balance. Balancing career demands with societal expectations related to family responsibilities can be emotionally challenging. And research released in the last couple of years has shown that when men start rising to higher and higher ranks in leadership, and especially when they achieve that senior level of leadership, they have fewer and fewer household responsibilities, while women rising at the same trajectory hold on to all of their household responsibilities, or the majority of them. So we're looking at most men in senior and executive leadership don't have as much domestic responsibility or family responsibilities as their female counterparts, right? That's a big deal. And then lastly, there's underrepresentation. The underrepresentation of women in leadership positions itself can be a challenge. Feeling isolated or being the only woman in a leadership role within an organization can impact a woman's emotional well-being and sense of belonging. And women in frontline leadership positions or even middle management, if there's underrepresentation of leaders above them who are like them, right? Could be women or it could be race or LGBTQ, whatever the situation is. If there's underrepresentation, it's harder to see ourselves in those roles. So to address these challenges, women leaders and organizations can emphasize the development of emotional intelligence skills for all the employees. The nice thing is emotional intelligence skill building can be woven into already existing programs and initiatives. Emotional intelligence refers to the ability to understand and manage one's own emotions, as well as the ability to perceive, interpret, and influence the emotions of others. It encompasses a set of skills and competencies that contribute to effective interpersonal relationships, communication, and overall well-being. The concept of EQ was popularized by psychologist Daniel Goleman, who identified 5 key components of emotional intelligence. And they are self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. So let's get into what that means. Self-awareness is recognizing and understanding one's own emotions, as well as being aware of how emotions can impact thoughts and behavior. Self-regulation is managing and controlling one's own emotions, avoiding impulsive reactions, and adapting to changing circumstances. Then there's motivation, being driven to achieve goals, having passion for work, and maintaining optimism, even in the face of challenges. Empathy is understanding and sharing the feelings of others, being able to perspective take, right? Put yourself in somebody else's shoes and demonstrating compassion. And lastly, social skills, effectively navigating social situations, building and maintaining positive relationships, and communicating with influence. In the context of leadership, emotional intelligence is particularly significant. Leaders with high EQ can create a positive and collaborative work environment. They can foster strong team dynamics and navigate interpersonal challenges. And they're always with us, right? Those interpersonal challenges, they can navigate these challenges effectively. Now, bear with me as I break down the how and why emotional intelligence is so impactful. There will be recurring themes such as communication, conflict resolution, etc., because I'm going to give some overview and then get into the nitty-gritty of empathy. There are some very specific leadership skills that EQ impacts, and I can't even imagine a leader not having these skills. Or actually, I can. I have experienced situations where I have clients or I go into companies and there is somebody who does not have high EQ, and typically it causes a lot of problems and friction. So when you think about relationship building, leaders with high EQ can establish and maintain strong relationships with team members, right? They can foster trust and cooperation. Then there's effective communication. Understanding and managing emotions enables leaders to communicate more effectively, resolving conflicts and inspiring others. Adaptability. Leaders with high EQ can adapt to changing situations, making them more resilient and better equipped to handle challenges. And I can't imagine being in the workplace today without the ability to adapt. Then conflict resolution. EQ helps leaders navigate conflicts by understanding the emotions involved, finding common ground, and then facilitating resolution. When you have to mediate a conflict, you have to be aware of your own emotions and how you're being impacted by the conflict in order to then create the space to allow two other individuals with their own emotions to come to a resolution. It can be a tricky business, but that high EQ and ability to navigate these situations, crucial. Then motivation and inspiration. Leaders with high EQ can inspire and motivate their teams, creating a positive and engaging work environment, right? If you're feeling it yourself, it's much easier for that to infuse into others, rather than a leader who's trying to pretend to be motivated and inspired and coming from that place trying to motivate others. And let's face it, we may have had days where, we were tired or overwhelmed and trying to find the motivation. That experience of being in that place and trying to motivate others. Now imagine that you're just not feeling motivated for days on ends or months or years. Crazy. And then lastly, decision making. Emotionally intelligent leaders can make well-informed decisions by considering both rational and emotional aspects of a situation. You can see that emotional intelligence is a crucial aspect of an effective leadership. It empowers leaders to understand and manage emotions, build strong relationships, and navigate the complexities of human interactions in the workplace. Do you have a challenge to share and would be willing to share with others? There's so much that can be gained by listening to what another woman is going through and to understanding the strategy that she will implement to overcome the challenge. I've seen this in the group that is currently going through the Positive Intelligence program. One woman shares a particular struggle she's having, and at least two others, if not all of the other women in the group, acknowledge they have had or currently have the same challenge. It's validating for all and beneficial to talk about the approaches that have been tried and which help the situation. For this reason, I would love to do more on-air coaching calls on this podcast. If you're a woman leader who's been promoted or taken on a new role in the last year, I invite you to apply to be on the Women Taking the Lead podcast. You will be completely anonymous, so you won't need to worry about anyone you work with listening to you talk about your challenges. You will gain insights and strategies to overcome any challenges you've been faced with at work, and the other women listening to your episode will learn from your experience and gain insights that they can use at work. You can find the link that will take you to the application in the episode description in your podcast app, or if you're listening on the Women Taking the Lead website, it will be at the bottom of the episode page. If you've been considering, I say do it. Submit the application, you and I can chat. At the very least, you will have explored the opportunity. There is a saying that businesses only have two problems: profits and people. And the people problem impacts the profit problem. Imagine a work environment in which the managers and leaders have high emotional intelligence. The common problems in workplaces would not be an issue in that instance. The growing recognition of the value of emotional intelligence in the workplace reflects a shift in understanding about the key factors that contribute to individual and organizational success. So let's talk about those factors that contribute to increased awareness and appreciation of emotional intelligence. Research and publications. The growing body of research on emotional intelligence and its positive impact on workplace outcomes has contributed significantly to its recognition. Books, articles, and case studies highlighting the benefits of emotional intelligence have become influential in shaping organizational practices. Then there are changing workplace dynamics. In the workplace, there is an increased emphasis on adaptability, collaboration, teamwork, and effective communication. Emotional intelligence plays a pivotal role in facilitating positive interactions among team members, leading to improved productivity and job satisfaction. Individuals with high emotional intelligence are more resilient and better able to cope with the change, helping organizations navigate uncertainty and remain agile. Then there's the globalization and cultural sensitivity that's infusing our organizations. As workplaces become more diverse and globalized, the ability to understand and navigate cultural differences becomes crucial. Emotional intelligence allows individuals to be more culturally sensitive and adaptive, fostering effective cross-cultural communication and collaboration. Customer relations. In customer-centric industries, understanding and responding to the emotions of clients or customers is vital. And employees with high EQ can build stronger connections with customers, leading to increased customer satisfaction and loyalty. And the best of these individuals I've seen have been able to partner with customers to create outcomes that were even better than just merely solving the problem. Then there's the impact of emotional intelligence on talent recruitment, development, and retention. So recruitment and talent development. Many organizations now consider emotional intelligence as a valuable trait during the recruitment process. Additionally, training and developing programs often incorporate emotional intelligence components to enhance leadership and interpersonal skills among employees. Then there's employee well-being. Organizations are recognizing the importance of employee well-being and mental health. Emotional intelligence contributes to creating a supportive and inclusive work environment where individuals feel valued, understood, and motivated. Then, the traditional view of leadership, which focused primarily on technical skills and authority, has evolved. Today, effective leadership is seen as more relational and people-oriented. Leaders who exhibit emotional intelligence are better equipped to lead diverse teams and navigate the complexities of modern organizational structures. And again, I'm going to repeat conflict resolution and team dynamics. Organizations recognize the impact of conflicts on team performance. Employees with high EQ are better equipped to manage conflicts, foster positive team dynamics, and contribute to healthier organizational cultures. As businesses try to make their workplaces better for everyone, emotional intelligence is seen as a critical skill to have if you want to do well. All right, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about what tend to be the unique strengths of women leaders. There was a time not so long ago where it was thought that women could not handle leadership. They weren't tough enough. They didn't have what it took. But as women were granted leadership positions, what companies started to realize was that women brought skills that had benefits that they did not predict. So let's talk about the strengths that women leaders bring to the proverbial table. First, there's empathy, right? One of the 5 components itself in emotional intelligence. Research suggests that women often score higher on empathy measures. This enables women leaders to understand and connect with the emotions of their team members, which fosters a supportive and collaborative environment. relationship building. Women typically excel in building and maintaining strong interpersonal relationships. Their ability to create a sense of community within a team can contribute to increased trust, communication, and cooperation among the team members. Communication skills. Women on average may possess strong verbal communication skills, allowing them to convey their ideas, provide feedback, and navigate sensitive conversations with finesse. And collaboration. Women leaders often emphasize collaboration and teamwork, leveraging their emotional intelligence to bring diverse perspectives together and create inclusive decision-making processes. So diving a little deeper into empathy, I really want to underscore that having a high emotional intelligence, your ability to empathize does not overtake you. Empathy involves the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, but it does not mean that because of that, you then lack the ability to hold others accountable or to set expectations. There is that balance of being able to understand and share the feelings of others while also being able to set expectations and hold people accountable, right? There is a balance, but you're able to work with people because you can empathize with them. So when you have that balance of the ability to empathize with high EQ, you have the ability to create a positive work environment and increase employee engagement. Because by acknowledging and valuing the emotions of team members, empathetic leaders foster that sense of belonging, hence leading to increased job satisfaction and motivation. They can build trust when employees feel that their leaders understand and care about their concerns. They are more likely to trust the leadership. That increases loyalty and commitment. Empathy increases a leader's ability to understand the challenges and triumphs of individuals, leading to personalized encouragement, and that boosts motivation and overall morale. Empathetic leaders are more likely to practice inclusive leadership by recognizing and appreciating the diverse perspectives and experiences of their team members. This inclusivity leads to a richer exchange of ideas and innovation with the team, right? We talked about in the episode with Pasha Marlowe, how when we don't feel like we belong and we're not appreciated, we're less likely to speak up, to offer our perspective or offer ideas for how to solve problems or move forward. Empathetic leaders also listen actively to understand the perspectives of their team members, and this helps in avoiding misunderstandings, resolving conflicts, and it creates an open and transparent communication culture, right? When we feel like we're not being listened to, again, we're not going to speak up. But when we have a sense that our leaders care about us and care about what we have to say and are actively listening, we're more likely to keep talking, right? And sharing what's going on with us, with the team, and with the work situation. And again, I'm not going to beat this drum too hard. Conflict resolution. You can see how the ability to facilitate constructive dialogue and find common ground can lead to mutually beneficial resolutions for all parties. And when team members feel that their leaders understand and care about them as individuals, it fosters a strong sense of cohesion and teamwork. And lastly, by understanding the concerns and anxieties of their team during periods of change, leaders can communicate effectively, manage emotions, and guide the team through transitions. And boy, is that something all leaders really need to have the ability to do in this day and age. So in summary, leaders who prioritize empathy create a work environment where individuals feel valued, understood, and supported. And this not only enhances the overall well-being of employees, but also contributes to increased collaboration, productivity, and the overall success of the organization. It sounds very la, but like I said earlier, there has to be a balance. There's such a thing as overdoing a skill or ability, right? Going way too far in the other direction. But if, again, you have that ability to empathize and set expectations and hold individuals accountable, it really can keep you moving forward and providing that environment in which everyone would want to work. So we've been at this a while, so let's go over what we covered today. So we talked about the unique challenges women face in leadership roles. We did an overview of emotional intelligence and its significance in leadership. We talked about the growing recognition of the value of EQ in the workplace. We talked about the unique strengths of women in leadership and the superpower that is empathy. And in the next episode, we'll be covering the EQ components of self-awareness and self-regulation. Until then, thank you so much for listening to the Women Taking the Lead podcast. If you are not yet subscribed to the podcast, hit the follow or subscribe button so you don't miss out on the upcoming episodes. And if you know anyone else who can benefit from this episode, please share it with them. As always, I hope this was of value to you, and here's to your success.